I just don't see why I got chose to play this game. Like, I play Skyrim on the easiest difficulty and then complain when I get killed by a bandit. And they're like, hey, you know what? Let's make Squid play this one. It's not fair. Welcome back, Zoogoers, to another episode of The Squid Struggles. Today we are in Central Yharnam, and first off, let's start with talking to a good friend, Gilbert.
You must be a hunter, and not one from around Gilbert. A fellow outsider. You must have had a fine time of it. Yharnam has a special way of treating guests. Well,
Gilbert here is one of those unlucky souls that's been cursed with the Yharnam plague, which everybody that enters Yharnam is ultimately doomed to get. He recommends that you leave, but we're not smart enough to do that, so let's press on. Now, Central Yharnam here is really the easiest section in the game, which really sucks because it gives you an outline of what you're going to have to look forward to. Now, although there are a crap ton of enemies in this section, they are fairly easy to beat. Just don't let them gang up on you. Otherwise, anything can happen. For example, when I round this corner right here, I forget that there's 4 enemies, and make a swift and tactical retreat. Picking off enemies one by one is an easy enough tactic, but you still have to be careful, because even a single enemy can spell certain defeat. And when you have these people with shields right here, they're honestly some of the easier enemies. You just gotta smack them once and it lowers their defense. Another important thing you want to keep doing when you're around here is searching the local areas. You can find a lot of important things. For example, Molotov cocktails. These little ditties will help you out tremendously, especially in the beginning of the game, when, if you're like me, you suck at it. Now, Bloodborne does have several jump scare areas, like this guy right here was supposed to get you, but I played through the game a couple times just so that I didn't have to keep trimming out too many death scenes. Remember when I was talking about the hordes of enemies earlier? Look right there. Now, walking into there, you will get killed faster than anything else in the game will kill you. I still forgot about that one. There we go, jump scares. See everybody? It's great. It's awesome. Now the enemies here, when you get a little closer over near the torched beast thing, will disperse. And when they break apart, it can lead to mass chaos. Just be a little careful in this area and making sure you're always looking behind you. Visceral attacks, like what you just saw, are also amazing for taking out individual enemies. When they're down like that, it's almost an instant kill for these little guys running around. Another way to get visceral attacks is to sneak up on them. When you just casually walk, the game takes this as kind of a stealth tactic. When you walk up behind someone like this who's admiring the fine metalwork of the gate, you could sneak up on them and do a power attack, which puts them down in a stunned position, allowing for a visceral attack. Always take advantage of enemies that are unaware. Now, with all of these down here, I'm going to use the ancient art called run through it and dodge every single thing that is thrown at you. And one stray bullet almost gets me, but I make it away. You can use that really anywhere in the game. That's one of the beauties of this game, is you don't even have to attack really any enemies in any section. You can just run straight through everything. Literally everything. Now what we have right here is what the community has taken to calling a fatty. I'm pretty sure they're actually called executioners, but come on, fatty is a lot better. These guys really aren't a threat, as long as you can visceral them like that. And it's really easy to visceral them, since they're mostly just trying to beat you in the face with that brick they're holding. And this one's special in the fact that he drops a torch. And you can use the torch as a weapon, but it's terrible. Like, don't do it. Just don't. Moving up the ladder, you can hear a creepy music box playing in the background, and that actually plays into the main quest later on. See that window over there? Just like when you could talk to Gilbert, you can interact with them over there, and they give you a music box that helps you fight one of the bosses later on in the game. Now around here you see two wild little puppies. Oh, they're so cute. They just want to be cuddled. So, dogs in this game. Also, easy enemies to kill, easy enemies to get killed by. Don't ever let more than one of them jump on you at once, or else it's over. Unless you've just got a big weapon that you can swing around and do kind of like an area effect damage. Here, boy. These guys. There's the puppy. See, 2 hits and he's out. But if they can get onto you, they can kill you faster than any other standard enemy running around. For visceral attacks, the best weapon to use is the Hunter's Blunderbuss. It has a relatively quick draw time, and the widespread makes it easy for you to at least somewhat hit them. Here, boy, come here. Come here. Come here. Come on. Come on, you bark, bark. Come on. Come on. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Ooh, where'd I go? Oh. Oh. And dodging in this game is a must. You can't do anything in this game unless you can learn to be just as defensive as you are aggressive. That wasn't ominous. Speaking of dodging, and of dogs, remember that lovely werewolf in Yosefka's clinic? Well, now there's 2 of them. I'd be lying if I said this was an easy section. In fact, even right here, I had a teeny little hang-up once or twice with the werewolves. So as you can see, nothing overly major, just a little hiccup. But they're dead now, so let's move on forward. Never, ever, ever don't look around. You always want to be exploring in this game, because you can always find shortcuts. For example, cutting through this little building right here, where this guy is so graciously guarded for us, is an extremely dark little room, with an enemy over here, and an item over here to your left, with another guy ready to jump out at you because you're not paying attention. You're looking at that shiny little item on the ground. Well, clearing them out here and going downstairs will reveal another enemy. But this little house is actually a shortcut back to the first torch, which allows you to skip almost all of Yharnam just so you can come back here. And this guy in the wheelchair, which I missed graciously, incredibly. It takes skill to miss a target sitting still, like, you know, shows how amazing I am at this game. Open this door, and there's gonna be one more guy up there that'll rush down at you, and it takes you back to the Hunter's Lantern, and you can go back to the Hunter's Dream from there. And see, you've come to the right place. Opening the gate, there's your lantern again, and you can skip every single bit of what I ran through earlier. Now, when you're running through and using that ancient tactic, you don't get to collect anything, so you do want to at some point make an effort to go back to get the weapons and upgrade things that you're going to need later on in the game. As we progress, we're going to cut back through the building and go back up to the Great Bridge, and we'll be on our way to the next lantern. Got lost. Three crows and a fatty. This is going to sound obvious, but whenever you're fighting a group of enemies, you want to prioritize the strongest. Don't worry about knocking out the crows or like the little minions if you have something like him around. Always go for the ones that can hurt you the worst. Let's just shoot you. Another thing you always want to be wary of is when you're walking through the game and you see a large open area like this with no enemies, because it typically means something like that is about to swoop down and go in dry. Cleric Beast here. First boss in the game, coincidentally the easiest boss in the game. That's right, this is the easy one. This is the freebie that From Software gives you. He doesn't really have too many attacks, and the music is epic playing in the background. Basically all he does is fist you. Or hit you with his fist. It's the same thing, I'm pretty sure. But you want to be careful because he can grab you. Basically all the bosses in this game have a grab mechanic, and it's close to a one-hit. Luckily with my epic dodges, I got out of there before he killed me. Now this is where you want to try and balance out being aggressive and defensive, because you can't rush in and just hit without dodging, otherwise you will die instantly. See, one claw swipe took out almost a third of my health, and his combo usually goes with 3 in a row, so if all 3 hit you, it's over. But you want to balance the aggression, because see, as you hit, it restores health without the cost of your blood vials. If you have enough Molotovs, they're actually useful right here. And when it gets to about half, he goes down for a visceral attack. And don't be like me where you fail the visceral attack, because that takes out a huge chunk of his health. Another way you can visceral them is if you get directly behind them and do a power attack. 80% of the time, this will put them down for a visceral attack, but it has to be perfectly on the rear. Not like the angle I was just at. Oh my gosh, come on. Also, every boss has about 3 phases, and it goes down for each 33% of their health. Every time you go into the next phase, they get slightly stronger, a little bit faster, and a whole lot more aggressive. They almost always have a one-shot mechanic as well. This one I'm pretty sure grabs you and slams you into the ground a lot. So you need to watch out for that. And that little aspect of the game really adds to the intensity of how, no matter how close you get, you can always get killed. The Dark Souls games were the exact same way. You could get the boss right down to where you want them, and then they just poop on your soul. That's probably why the soul's dark. And I didn't dodge the Cleric Beast's grab, and he is beating me to death. And I am the dead. First boss, easiest boss in the game. Looking great. Looking great.